One of the first movies I ever remember watching was Spirited Away. And even as a kid, I knew I wanted to make my own cute version of Haku the Dragon someday, with little details inspired by the movie to make it extra nostalgic. This video is going to be me showing you how I fill layers of resin into the molds, but honestly, this part used to be the hardest for me to share. All of my techniques are from years of trial and error, and I was always scared someone might critique the way I do things. When I first started making keycaps, there were barely any videos on multi-shot resin casting, and resin is a chemical that can be so finicky. Things like temperature, humidity, and improper mixing have ruined hundreds of my pieces. I have spent weeks on end holed up in my workroom crying while trying to troubleshoot my resin problems because no one had an answer. But after a lot of experimenting and patience, I've always been able to find a solution. Even to this day, I still mess up a lot, which is why I have so many B grades that I take to my market events. But over the last 3 years, I can say that my success rate has gotten so much better. Honestly, I'm still not confident enough to teach, but I saw somewhere that instead of making how-to videos, I could make how I do videos, and that really stuck with me. Also, this is one of the most expensive keycaps in my shop because the design isn't easy to work with. The face details are so tiny and the mold curves inwards so much that I can barely see where I'm dropping the resin. But after so much practice and failure, I can almost do it semi-blind. And here I'm using tape to pick up dust from every little nook and cranny of the mold, which is the most important step. Dust is my biggest enemy when making keycaps because even the tiniest speck can turn a perfect keycap into a B grade. I know it's nearly impossible to avoid completely, but I am a perfectionist, and having to focus on such small areas all the time is probably why my eyes are so bad now. And now, this is the demold after many days of work. Haku turned out so pretty, and look how sparkly the base is too. This keycap carries so much nostalgia and turned out exactly how I imagined. I'm really proud of this one and I hope you love it as much as I do.